It's black light. We picking up where we left off. You wonder why you're not getting reparations? Now see, we was promised this 40 acres and a mule. At least our ancestors was. Talking about the black man and woman living over here in the wilderness of North America. But it says, you are a slave. They basically talking about they people now. Because before this guy came out with a book called The Creature from Jekyll's Island, we were promised reparations back in the 1800s. This is why you see on the final call, Elijah said, on the final call and on the Muhammad Speaks. I don't want no money. I want land. And then give us the proper tools to work the land for so long. Now, if the United States would have done this, they think a lot of us done stop clocking our dollars. No, it's interest on to that money. And you gonna pay us back. I don't care how many years we are removed from our ancestors regarding reparations. We're gonna pick up where we left off.
It uses the word federal in it and everything, and Federal Reserve. Well, it's not federal any more than Federal Express. It has no reserves to speak of. They call themselves a bank. It's not really a bank. It's a cartel of banks. So all the way from top to bottom, it's an illusion. And why should people care? Well, they should care because in the middle of almost every human transaction in the world today, there's this thing called money. In the old days, in the very old days, if you wanted to have something that you did not make and you wanted to purchase it, you had no choice but to either work for it with your labor or swap something that you had already acquired or made yourself for that. That's called barter. Well, the invention of money, of course, was the big spring that allowed the economy to unwind and people to accomplish things and build a lifestyle and all of the advantages that we enjoy. This money, the ability to exchange something other than the object you want to use. And so you look it up in the dictionary, you find out that the definition of money is a medium of exchange. And that tells you everything that really you need to know about money. It's a medium that you can use to swap one thing for another, and that you can hang on, you can acquire that medium and stash it away someplace so you have a little reserve, like you dammed up the water in the stream and you don't need to use it or let it all go through. You can save some of it and use it for later purchases. Well, now, if you imagine that money as a medium of exchange is in the middle, as it suggests, in the middle of almost every human exchange in the world, and that thing called money is manufactured by a private group of individuals with absolutely zero oversight, with absolutely zero political control over it. It's a mind-boggling thing because all they have to do is just carve out a little percent or 0.5% or 1/4% of every human transaction, and you can imagine what a wide river of gold that is that flows into the private coffers of the people who can create money as they do. So it's a mind-boggling thing. Everything we do, we pay a little tribute to these people who control the money supply. And I'm here to repeat that it's not done by the government. It's done by a private group of banks. It's a group of competing banks, or partially competing banks, that came together back in 1910, and by 1913 they worked out the plan not to compete anymore, to form a cartel, sort of a monopoly among certain major competitors. They said, look, why should we compete and batter each other to the ground with blood all over the battlefield in Paris, New York, and Wall Street, and so forth, competing with each other on interest rates and finding clients? Why don't we just all get together and divide up the markets, and that way we can get higher profit margins without...
See, you hear these black street gangs talking about, we real, man, we real. Ain't nothing real about y'all, man. Ain't nothing real about you. You're being made a sucker. You're killing each other up for nothing. Talking about y'all real. Man, y'all just like Neanderthals, getting played. Y'all better peep game. Recognize game when game is played. Real game. I'm talking about your life, man. All your life. So what, you make $1 million in the dope racket? You gonna pay it all back. You're gonna give it right back to him. And then when you die, you can't take it with you. It's a black light.